Once you have your picture on the computer with the grid on it, you're going to use your Chromebook to look at the picture, and then you're going to use your grid paper to transfer the picture to. If I look at my picture with the grid on it, I made a printout, but you guys will be using your computers for this. If I look at it and count the number of squares I have going across, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if there are 8 squares going across, I'm going to count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on my paper, and I know that I am not going to use this 9th one across. So I can kind of lightly scratch that one out. If I count the squares up and down, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know that I'm going to use the entire grid going this direction. So this row, or this column over here, is the only one that will not be used. It can be marked off so I don't get confused. When you look at the grid, this first square right here is this first square up here in the corner. I'm going to start right here with his head. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to be working in this square right there. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit so you can see this better. Camera. So this square right here on the picture is going to be this square on my grid drawing. Now if I'm looking just here, this is the edge right here, and I go to the top of his hair, it's part way up, not quite halfway, because technically this is only half of a square here, so it's slightly below half. Slightly below half is where I'm going to start drawing this. The top of his hair goes from this edge down to almost the corner of the square over here. So when I draw it, I'm going to start here. I'm going to follow the curve that I see here, and it's going to end almost at that corner right here. So what I have drawn is the top part of his hair just in this square. It's the top part of his hair just in this square. When I go to the square to the left, part of this hair continues, it curves, it goes down to the bottom line of the square. I'm going to draw that curve, comes out, goes around and comes out this way and ends at the bottom line right here. Then if I continue it down into this square, I'm moving down here. That line then continues around and eventually goes into the eye and the cheekbone, following along here. Over on this end, it barely cuts that corner. It barely cuts that corner, and then comes around. Square by square, piece by piece, I am filling in what I see. If I want to go down here and start to put this part of the shadow and the hair there, it's going to fall about halfway and comes down. His hairline follows here and comes to below half of this circle. So it's going to fall somewhere down here. That line would follow this. These highlights here are found in this square. I'm going to draw them in this square. That's where the lighter color would be, and so on. Some kids like to take Post-it notes and cover up the other squares around the one that they are currently drawing. If you have Post-it notes and you would like to do that, say I was working on this square right here where his face is, I would cover up on that line, that line, that line, that line, and then I can only see that square. And this is the one on my paper that I am transferring it to. Some kids find that easier. And then you can go ahead and you can do that on your computer screen. Smaller Post-it notes work better on your computer screen. The other thing you can do on your computer screen is you can enlarge your picture so you have zoomed in to just the square that you are currently working on. If there is something on your page, on your computer screen, then it gets transferred to your drawing. Once you are done drawing everything that you see, all of the detail that you see, you take a permanent marker and you'll trace your drawing. Once you've traced it, you'll erase any pencil lines you still see, which would also end up erasing your original grid line. And then you go on to the coloring portion of this project. You can use crayons, colored pencils, or markers, whichever you choose. You do not necessarily have to follow the color that you see in your picture. You can change the colors if you would like. So again, square by square and piece by piece, whatever you see in that square in your picture, you transfer it to the corresponding square in your drawing. Draw everything in pencil, trace it with marker, erase all of your pencil lines, and then color. If you have any questions after this point, you can raise your hand and ask me, and I'll be happy to help you. Go ahead and start your drawing.